I honor those of you who are watching from a benevolent space here at YouTube, at Blooming Light at Blooming's Tribe. Okay, and so you all hear me talk about the day in the life and what TIs experience. Okay, the things that we experience are casual, everyday life that a lot of the bulk of activity is disguised as regular everyday life activities. That's the greatest illusion of all time. That's the greatest spell of all time, coming under the guise of regular living, walking to a mailbox, checking a mailbox, walking to work, walking to the store, smoking a cig, on a lunch break, on a, like all of those things are not unusual. Those are behaviors that are normal and true to life for everyone. Okay, these are normal behaviors. No one will suspect a thing. And in fact, they use that as a detour so that when the TI has a response or a reaction to that, they kind of already have it staged to where they'll have an authority figure or somebody on the premises or somebody in the vicinity to attempt to see the target's behavior as they simply just do life, as they simply just smoke their cig, walk to the store, check the mailbox, like doing the things that doesn't seem to have any other undertone, motive, or anything attached to it when it does. Okay. For those that are in these groups, these cults, these secret worlds and stuff like that, that is how they pull it off. And if the higher ups themselves aren't involved, this is how they keep it from them, okay? Because in some cases, the higher ups are involved, and that's why they're given the approval to go ahead and go forward with it. In other cases, the upper are not, and so they'll start to cast spells on these folks and then cast a lot of illusions around the situation as they continue to attempt to stage them doing normal behavior, the 10 is doing normal behavior, and the TI supposedly doing the odd behavior. Now, here's what's fascinating. The reason why I say they take everyday life, it's in plain sight, because it is in plain sight. The TI learns it, and so they learn to adapt according to that. Okay, because they know it's in plain sight. They know when people just seem to drop out of the sky with a cigarette, like that was a plant. They know. Okay. They also know that there's powers that's trying to stage a so-called C. So they're operating in a certain way because of that too. Now, in plain sight, when you're living in complexes or you're dwelling or your family's dwelling, and that's where you are and where you have to be, and they know you have to frequent these places. The cast a spell work has a lot to do with intention and the elements and choosing objects that's in alignment or resonate with the issue at hand of a spell. If someone is, let's say, there's somebody that wants to do a baneful spell because let's say they want you gone. Let's say they're mad at you. Let's say they blame you for something. Let's say they're going through a loss, whether that's a loss of a job, a loss of a relationship, a loss of a home, a loss of something. Well, they'll typically try to gear a spell that they're going to use. They're going to try to use some elements that represent it. And as they put the energy into said spell, they have things that they do behind the scene, and then they have things because they want it to represent touching something of yours. Okay. Typically, they already have pictures of you because if they're stalking or if they're on social media, they're grabbing photos, or, if they see you, they're taking pictures. Okay. So they're using those. Okay. And if they've been breaking in dwelling spaces, then they're getting objects and things of yours to hold energy. Okay. They are also putting things around perimeters of dwelling spaces, but it looks like just random shit. A piece of iron, a piece of steel, a piece of wood, a shitty diaper in a bag. You know, that looks like it's just garbage that the wind blew in. Okay? That's laced with a spell. Now, a broken key. Why would they choose a broken key? They placed a broken key above my son's mailbox. Yep, it was broken. And let me explain. That was specific because that the area in which where his mailbox is and how it's set up in there, it's not a standard place that anybody is just going to be randomly going there, accidentally sitting something down or accidentally throwing something. The way it is placed is that had to be specifically placed there intentionally. That's not one of those things where somebody just went in there. Oh, they dropped it. It just so happened to fit. Oh, they was trying to get to the trash. Oh, it just so happened to. Oh, no. They specifically said it. And I'll take a picture. I'll show you all. Okay. They said it on top. Now, who would do that? Who? Okay, he doesn't have any friends. He doesn't frequent anything and anybody. So that's already X-nay. Okay, X-nay on that. I don't deal with folk. I'm dealing with stalkers that's in all up in my get up. But I don't deal with folk. So, and who would know that that's his mailbox? That's another question of the hour. It's either going to be people who have watched him or me frequent there and go into that box, or people who know, because the way it's set up, you can't tell. And that was to keep people from, fraudulent, weird activities. So you wouldn't know it just based on his apartment number and stuff. That's not the way they have it set up. So who else would know that that's his mailbox? Who would know? Who would know? Stalkers. There's only two answers. Because again, we don't fool with nobody. So there's only two answers. Actually, take that back, three. The postalman or woman. Uh-oh, maybe somebody just told on the post office lady. The one, yeah, and I saw the post lady today. Got a synopsis. I know who she is now. See how deep this go? This is why it is a problem, and this is why actions have to be taken, and this is why people who know the truth, there's no room for cowardice, and there's no room for any of that, because this is how widespread it goes. Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and yeah, come on. They know the postal lady, and so you see what I'm saying? When, especially if they're trying to hide their hand, because that it's a lot of that happens. If they want to hide their own hand, they outsource it. So just in case, because some of these people are notorious for doing it, and there's some folks today that still don't want to accept that something that went down a while long back is because somebody wanted to save their own ass, and that's what they're notorious for. And at the end of the day, they will throw everyone else under the bus come, if the rubber meets the road. Because guess who's going to be in trouble if it goes that far? It's going to be the hands that's dirty. That's going to get the gist of it. That's why I be like, man, people stupid. People out here ruining their lives. willing to go do some dirty shit, and then them motherfuckers will sell your ass. They will sell you. They will throw you under the bus. They not finna lose their jobs. They not finna lose their careers. They not finna lose everything. No, they not. No, the hell they not. You going down, and they gonna say that they don't. They, they're confused, or they gonna play that role real good. They put a key, a broken key, above my son's. Why? Oh, I'm gonna make the world think, even if they don't want to. Why? Why would they do that? Whoever they are. And for those who don't believe it, it's a spell, okay, which catch up, you better open your eye. You better open your damn eye. It's energy. It's still obstruction. First and foremost, now that's an attempt to obstruct his environment. But it's coming with wanting him to be kicked out, wanting his life to be broken, wanting, because that's why it wasn't a whole key, it was a broken key, that it represents something. I got rid of it, or should I say I kicked it off. I used something. I think I used my selenite sword, because I didn't want to touch it. I think he touched it, and it hit the ground, and then I think I either kicked it or I moved it with my selenite sword, something like that, my foot or my selenite sword. Now, mind you, this kind of stuff is going on in all the time and throughout the whole property. All the time. Because some of these folks, like I said, that's their whole point of existence. That's period, point blank. Some people didn't even get an apartment. And I'm going to say this. In some of these cases that the TIs go through, some folks only have their residencies because they agreed to these programs. That's going to help some of y'all out there realize why they can't stop doing it. Okay, doodle. Why they can't stop? Because it was contingent on them being a stalker. It was contingent on them surveillancing. It was all contingent on them aggravating whatever their personal assignment was. That's what it was contingent upon. So that was the motivation for them, because they trying to keep their little apartment. I know it's fucked up that these programs exploiting, because they're exploiting the target, but they're also exploiting these people. They're exploiting people's desperation, because they ain't got no spot. They trying to secure their apartment. You push people into situations where they're trying to fight for their survival. Some people crack under that, and they're willing to do some sick stuff in order to keep their house. That's what it is. So yeah, they was willing to pay their homegirl and their homeboy as to try to hide their identity, and outsource it to the mail lady, the mailman, and this one and that one. Because if caught on camera, the mail lady puts mail in the mailbox. Do you see where this is going? Because if caught on camera, that's normal behavior for a mail lady to be putting shit in the mailbox. So they ain't gonna be paying attention to see if she slips something on top of the shit. It doesn't look suspicious. They could have had a whole lot to do with why we were having so many issues I had such a hard time last tax season, and it's because of tampering with the mail. Uh-oh. This is gonna get, now a whole nother element just been added. because sometimes these areas are video recorded. It depends on where the TI is. So again, how I told you all, technology is something that they exploit and gaslight with. Because if on camera, if a detective were to pull, or if any investigator were to pull and subpoena video footage, all they'll see is the postal man delivering mail, and it's a sleight of the hand. You have to be paying attention to even see that kind of move. You got to really, like, that's what I say, you sometimes you got to be like a supreme investigator, not just the basic skills. Because the basic skills gonna say, yeah, I didn't see anybody. They said that somebody put something on the top of the mailbox, and we don't have any video coverage and footage of such. The only thing that we have is the postal man delivering the mail. This is how they hide everything, through casual life, through people operating in their functions. This is how they do that. I am a landlord. I am a maintenance person. I am a landscaper. I am a door dasher. I am a Walmart shopper. I am a cashier. They utilize all those things to obstruct the life of the TI. Now, to fast forward and get to, okay, Brandy, okay, Bloomy, we get it. We're investigating this. We're starting to learn more about this stuff, but why the broken key? Like, okay, so what, we can see them maybe put some poison, bitch, put some poison, bitch, or something, but why the broken key, though? What would be the point? Again, it's a symbolism of either breaking and entering into his dwelling. Is symbolism of trying to, like I said, get him locked out, get him to lose, because there's somebody who feels like they lost something. I may do a reading on it if I feel like it, if I'm guided, if I feel super nosy. I might get the book of names out to even make it even more flavorful. I might. Because again, and what if there's like, okay, so my son touched it. Like, what if there was this is serious. People need head checks badly. These are people with these like, listen, these fancy jobs, but they need head checks. That's why I've been saying this shit. I've been saying I'm not trying to be cutesy and I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm simply saying we are holding all this stuff in high honor. But look, I ain't putting no damn broken keys. I'm walking around with spray like you spray fucking insects. You damn straight. This is Texas. I done got ate up out here. I ain't never gotten ate up by bugs and insects before until I got to Texas. On top of the fact, I use it for alchemy. Because I know what I'm dealing with. But I'm not out here putting broken keys on people's shit. I'm defending and protecting. So is other TIs. Simply what seems to be odd and unusual behavior is them defending and protecting them and their children. As simple as that, from the bullshit that they're subjected to. That people pretend like they're not because they're depraved in the mind. And they don't care that they depraved. When people's survival is at stake, when money is on the table, they don't care that they're depraved. They don't care. They don't care. They lose that. Y'all got to catch up. I know it's a hard pill to swallow. I get it. It's been the hardest thing for me to swallow. When I had to work with shock, that freeze response and shock, because it's yeah. It's hard to swallow that people can be that fucked up. They are, but they are. Their humanity or their decency dies. Some of them, their decency died a long time ago anyway. Y'all just didn't know it. It died. Something happened to them. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Okay. I just know that to function the way these, like every day, like they're following, it's insane amount of cars and amount of money they have to pay people to harass me. You got kidnapped children out here, and they got 30, 40, 50 cars swarming a city for one lady. Psychos. Trafficked children, old ladies, old men, populations being exploited, and they got all the fucking time and money in the world to do this shit. All the time in the world. Can't get a real purpose if somebody offers them a real one. It's real shit happening in this life, and they got all the friends and connects and monies and stuff on bullshit. They can't fix nothing worth fixing in this life. Y'all may not even know what's going on. See, that'd be fucked up too, collective TIs. Y'all don't always know. Y'all don't be knowing. You trying to keep your head straight, cleaning your head, because you know they coming for your head constantly, bitch. Y'all don't be knowing, and these people be steady blaming y'all for shit. Steady projecting some on y'all that you don't even know what the fuck. These people cannot take responsibility for their actions. They get a part of these things. They do these nasty things. And when they start having some kind of negative effects, even the smallest bit, even the least bit, because it may not even be that detrimental. Maybe somebody just ended a relationship and they blaming it on you. It may not be deep and heavy. Maybe they lost a friendship. They blame you for it. Maybe they lost a day of work. Okay, that ain't the same as fired. You know what I'm saying? And then they, like I said, they can't even take responsibility for that. Like, why are you not taking responsibility if you were suspended a day of work? Is it legitimate? Was it a legitimate cause there? Anywho, they put a broken key, y'all. Could have represented getting rid of me, getting rid of him. It just depends on what their intentions. But I can tell you this. The intentions were not pure. What I can also tell you is postal men have access to your key, as well as whoever the landlords and maintenance people are, which means that, yeah. But the way to hide all of that is through the postal men. Have they been stealing mail? Because it sure hadn't been nothing much. Yeah. Holding mail? Is that a federal offense? Is it? I think it is. I don't know what kind of trouble a postal man or woman would get in. I don't know all those laws. I don't know what would happen to them. Should they be caught up in that? Because that's them exploiting their position to obstruct shit as well. We mailed something. We mailed something and it didn't get to the person. This is what they do as well. I went through that tax season. It was insane. There was somebody's hand in that. This is why we must talk about this over and over again until enough people gain the courage to stand up and speak out and provide the proofs. Because that's how you deal with this. You're not going to appease. You better have a good character, because if they think you can be bribed, blackmailed, and bullied, and bought and sold, you will be. Okay? That's how we're going to deal with this. That's why our life has been what it's been. This has been unnatural. This has been staged. Life happens, but not this. Not all the time. This level of corruption exists. And instead of wasting time on figuring out why would someone want to do this to somebody that's not nobody, get over yourself. Accept the fact that it's happening.